everyone. My name is Tessine, and I'm a conservation organizer with the Illinois Sierra Club. And very recently, a coalition that we work with won the unimaginable. We won the first ever shutdown order on an operating pipeline, Line 5. So after 10 years of organizing and fighting Enbridge, the biggest crude oil company in the world, we won the shutdown order. And so, you know, we thought that that's where the fight ended and that we won and that Line 5 would be shut down. However, that has not been the case, and it's almost 2023 and Line 5 is still operating. And that is because the Canadian government and Enbridge refuse to comply with Governor Whitmer's shutdown order. So I'm going to rewind a little bit. Is everyone here familiar with Line 5? Yes? No? Yes? Okay, so Line 5 belongs to a larger fossil fuel project that transports oil from point A in Canada to point B in Canada, Alberta to Quebec, but it is shortcut through the Midwestern United States. 90% of the oil goes from Canada to Canada. Majority of the jobs are for Canadians. And we are just here to receive the consequences and suffer the consequences of a disastrous oil spill. Line 5 is about 70 years old. It is deteriorating. It has already leaked over 1 million gallons of water, and it runs underneath the most sensitive parts of the Great Lakes, the Straits of Mackinac, where Lakes Michigan and Lake Huron's meet. What's interesting about the Straits of Mackinac is that the currents kind of go like this and they go like this, and they are 10 times stronger than the currents in Niagara Falls. So imagine deteriorating pipeline has already leaked, owned by a massive oil company that is responsible for the largest inland oil spill in the 21st century, is in charge of safely operating a pipeline that runs underneath the most sensitive parts of the Great Lakes. No, right? Like, there will be an inevitable oil spill. And so, you know, as we started brainstorming what to do, since we thought that we won this fight, was to not only expand our campaign nationally, so outside of the Midwest, but binationally in Canada as well. And so in December, there's actually going to be a biodiversity UN COP conference in which our federal representatives, Canadian federal representatives, and representatives from all over the world are going to gather and talk about saving the planet, biodiversity, etc. And we really want to make a very powerful binational statement saying that we need to begin the energy transition, and that's going to start with enforcing the Line 5 shutdown order. And so in my head, Line 5 represents two outcomes, and it will set a precedent for the energy transition moving forward. The first is that we shut down Line 5. We asked Biden to enforce Governor Whitmer's shutdown order, and other leaders around the country and around the world will find the courage to start retiring fossil fuel infrastructure, and we will begin the energy transition that we desperately need. Second outcome is that other politicians will learn from Governor Whitmer and understand that shutting down fossil fuel infrastructure equals political suicide, and will not have the confidence to start retiring pipelines. And Enbridge and the Canadian government, who are benefiting from these pipelines, will continue to build into the United States, into the Great Lakes, forever and ever. One thing that I didn't mention, and it's a little in the weeds, is that the Canadian government and Enbridge are evoking a 1977 pipeline transit treaty to continue Line 5's operation. So this treaty was written during the oil crisis in the 70s, and it essentially ensures that there cannot be an energy crisis in the US and Canada. And so they are arguing that if Line 5 is retired, they will suffer from an energy crisis. We have actually conducted a study saying that there will not be an energy crisis in Quebec and in Ontario. Gas prices will increase by 1 to 2 cents per liter. It's a negligible amount. And they will be affected by, I believe, half a cent per gallon here in the Midwest. And so they are using this excuse that is not based in fact to continue Line 5's operation. They have this treaty. However, all of the tribes along the Straits of Mackinac have a treaty too. And it's called the Treaty of Washington, and I believe it was signed in either 1832, 1836, don't quote me on this. However, it guarantees perpetual fishing and hunting rights for the 12 federally recognized tribes along the Straits of Mackinac. And Line 5 is a direct violation of this treaty as well. This treaty should supersede the treaty made with the US and Canada in 1977, and it also predates it as well. So I guess I'll end by saying honor the treaties, enforce Line 5 shutdown order, and if you're interested in talking to your representatives about this issue, please come find me. Thank you.
Thank you.